Okay, so now you know what a parameterized method is. And I kind of want to piggyback on this example to introduce a new technique, which is overloaded methods. And let's look at our jukebox example. And we said that it was 50 cents for one song. And so this jukebox method was coded with that in mind, that we're looking for the 50 cents and then playing the one song. But what if we had another version of the jukebox method that will play 3 songs for $1? Okay, so I'd like to code a different version of jukebox. I'm in the same program here. I'm going to call this jukebox, just like the first one. They're both called jukebox. But this one is going to have 3 parameters. We'll have a decimal for the money, as usual. And then, I have this typed out, I'm going to copy this in. I'm going to do 3 strings for 3 songs, because this is 3 songs for $1. So I'm going to have 3 strings for the 3 selections that the user wants to hear. And then the code itself, I'm just going to paste this in. So we're saying if the money is $1, great, I'm going to play the 3 songs that come through. These are a new line and tab, so just kind of manipulating the output a little bit. That's not important here. But again, look at how I'm using the parameters in the code itself, assessing the money. If the money is good, I'm playing selection 1, playing selection 2, playing selection 3. Okay, use those parameters inside the method. That's what they are for. But we have a very specific technique going on here, which is called overloaded methods. These are the 2 criteria for overloaded methods, and it really is this simple. Methods are overloaded when they have the same exact name, like these are both called jukebox, jukebox and jukebox, but different parameter lists. And different just means different, okay? We have this one, for example, has a decimal parameter and a string parameter. This one, on the other hand, has a decimal and 3 strings. Those are different parameter lists. They're just different. You could even, theoretically, overload a method like this by switching the order. Order matters too. Now I've got yet another version of the overloaded method, okay? Different means different. My point is this one has decimal first, string second. This one has string first, decimal second. So that's overloaded methods. So I'm going to delete that one, but I just wanted to show you that different means different. And so, yeah, it really is that simple. So, try not to make it more complicated than it needs to be. Often, like if I ask students to overload methods on an assignment or an exam or something, sometimes I'll get this. So a student will do this. Well-meaning, but not correct. Jukebox 1 and Jukebox 2. Are those overloaded methods? No, they are not, because they do not have the same name. Okay? So anyway, getting back to the functionality of this program, I have my overloaded methods. Okay, and so now why don't we call we already called the first version in the last video. Now why don't we call, hang on here, I have something typed out. I'm going to call the second version of Jukebox. I already have some songs plugged in. What's going on here? Hang on. Okay, so passing some songs. This is 3 for $1. Let's see if it runs. Okay, it did run. And now, okay, so it did run. And mind you, I called the first version of Jukebox, which is the 2 parameters, that was going to play selection A1. But then this is the newer one. And I provided the 4 arguments, 4 pieces of information that method needs to do its job. Again, they're called arguments, these values that we're passing into the parameters. And now we're seeing those songs are being played. So yeah, again, overloaded methods, same name, different parameter lists. And I want to reiterate what I said in the last video about your parameter list is like a doorway into the method, a doorway through which you can pass values into that method. In this case, the money and the songs. But yeah, so we'll continue with overloading in the next video, a different example.